today I'm sharing these floral letter boxes that I made with Dollar Tree products. The supplies you'll need are bouquets of roses, poster board, and a foam board. And now I'm just measuring the poster board at 1 3/4 of an inch in thickness to create the frame of the letter. So I'm just gluing the poster board to the border of the foam board. And there they are, all done. So now I'm just taking the roses. You can definitely glue these roses in for a more permanent hold. I did not. As you can see, I'm just placing them in because I wanted to be able to use these for another project later on. So without gluing, they still held up. So just so you know that gluing is not mandatory. And this is the final look. I'm just decorating them a little bit with my extra roses, and then I set them up on my shelf. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. So to begin, you'll want to use some thick poster board or thick cardstock. And I'm just using this poster board that I had left over from another project, and I'm cutting out the shape of a heart, and then I'm putting it in position on one of the mason jars. And then I'm making a second one of these to go on the other jar so I can work on them both at the same time. And I'm taking my double-sided tape and I'm just going to cover one side with that tape, and I'm covering this using it on the shinier side of the poster board. And then I press this firmly down on the jar. And now I'm getting the red paint out. Now I'm just painting right over the heart and all over the rest of the jar. And I waited about a half an hour for the jars to dry, and then I just covered everything with the Mod Podge. And I immediately followed this up with the red glitter. After After carefully peeling off the heart, I found that some of the paint and the Mod Podge had seeped underneath, so I used nail polish remover and some Q-tips, and I went over and wiped that off. You could either use this or some alcohol would probably work fine too. To sharpen the edges, I used the brush with a little bit of the Mod Podge on it, and I traced out the edges of the heart, and then I went back and added more glitter over those areas. And this is how it looked when both jars were complete. So for the final touch of the jar, I got this twine that I purchased at the Dollar Tree, and I wrapped it around 3 times around the jar and then tied a knot, leaving a bit of excess twine at the ends there. And then I used that twine and wrapped it around 2 fingers so that I could create a bow out of it. And I think I wrapped this around about 5 times. So there were 5 loops on both sides. And then as you see here, I'm just tucking it in and then cutting off the extra part. And then I'm just going to tie this directly to the jar with those extra strings that I left hanging. And then cutting off the remainder and then adjusting the bows as you see here. And this is the final result. So the very last thing I did was to add the pixie lights into each jar, and then I displayed them on my shelf as you see. So this is the final outcome. I hope you like it. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up. So please stick around, and I hope to see you again. Thank you so much for watching. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm sharing a relaxing string art DIY project that I'm putting together using all materials that I already have on hand. I'm doing a little craft my stash. So I'm starting out using my Cricut to create heart shapes, which will be the foundation of the string art. Starting with the first heart, I'm just measuring it to get it centered in the middle of this board. And I had some wood on hand already. I just cut it down to the sizes that you're going to see here. And I'm going to place dots going around the heart as evenly spaced out as possible. So I'm kind of eyeballing this part and just placing dots along the outline of the heart. And after I was done with this process, I realized that I made too many dots. They were much too close together. So in the end, I end up using every other dot for the final steps. And then around the border of the board, I went around and placed dots evenly spaced as well. But for this one, I used a ruler. I counted 6 spaces and then I placed a dot. So I just counted 6 lines on the ruler and placed a dot. I'm not exactly sure what that measures out to be, but I did this across the top, down the sides, and across the bottom. And I'm showing here the 3 colors of string that I'm going to be using for this project. Here I'm going through and I'm putting the nails in. I'm just placing those in each of the dots going around the border of the board. And moving on to the next one, I'm using this heart to create 3 heart shapes on this board. I've already dotted in the first one and I'm just showing how I'm preparing the second one and placing those dots. And went down the row and created that third dotted heart as well. And then just filled in the nails. As you can see here, this is the progress until they were all filled in. And now I'm just taking the string. The white string was the thinnest, so I'm using 3 strands, and this is how long the first set was. So I just tied a knot on the bottom of the heart and then proceeded to wrap the string around the nails. And this is the fun part. There's no set way to do this. You just crisscross the string all over the open space until everything is pretty much filled in. So I'm trying to make sure that I wrap each nail at least one time with this first set of strings. So again, this is a 3-strand cord. Then I just wanted to make sure that there was enough of the color to make an impression. This is going to be on my front door, on one of my front doors, and I'm making the second one to match it, which is going to go on my other front door. So I'm using the same colors for each of these pieces, and just starting with the white string first, and then I'm going to move on to the green. That first set ran out and I wasn't satisfied that it was filled in enough, so I just cut 3 more and I'm just going over it a little bit more. Again, I just want to make sure I go over each of the nails, and then when I get to the end, I'm just using the glue. And now moving on to the green string, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm pretty sure I used 3 strands for this one as well. This one wasn't as thin as the white one, but I didn't think 2 was thick enough, so I did 3 as well for this one, I'm pretty sure. And doing the same steps here. Cutting it off, and now I'm using a single strand of string. I decided to just cover it one more time with a single strand because I thought that would give it a little bit of a contrast, and I think it does do that. Just going around doing the same thing, and I'm trying to go around each nail with a single strand. And I'm going to go back and do this with the white. I didn't do that originally, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the one underneath. And now I'm going around the border of the heart just to outline it. I think this makes it stand out a little bit better. So I'm wrapping it around each nail and then going across, and wrapping around once and then going across to the next one. And then I'm ending here, just adding a little bit of glue, wrapping it around, and then cutting off the excess. And I'm just showing really quick this last one. I did the same steps. This one I only used 2 strands of this bluish teal color because this was the thickest string. And I'm showing how I'm going over it with this single piece of string. And the last step is to go around the border as well, wrapping each nail once and then going to the next one until it's all completely outlined. And cutting off the excess, and then this one is all done. And I'm just gluing any little pieces that may be sticking out. So here's the final result. This one is going to go on the front door that we don't typically use. And now moving on to the second one. So I have marked it off how I'm going to section off the colors. So this first is going to be the white, this middle section is going to be the green, and this last section is going to be the tealish blue color. And then I'm going to bring that down to line up with these nails here. So this section here will align with the middle section. These 4 here will go with the left side. And then these nails here will go over here with the right. And then I'll continue around the sides of the heart and down the sides and the bottom of the board. So I'm showing how I'm starting here with the white and bringing that down. And because of course there's more nails going around the border than there are hearts, some of them are doubled and tripled and even 4 times around on the inner parts. So I guess you can see how that's going, connecting all together. And then I'm dragging the string across the top to seal in that section, and I'm going to do the same thing with the green. So I'm doubling up these nails here. And then once I get to the top, I'm just going to wrap that around to connect where it started and then gluing it all in place. And that's how I'm going to go. And then I'm just going to show how I'm going forward with the rest of it, continuing with that same pattern. And in the back, I put some cardboard because some of the nails were sticking out, and then I added some screws to hang it. So I'm doubling up this string, and I'm going to use this to hang it. And I did the same thing on both pieces. And here's the result. And the cardboard is hot glued to the back of each board, and then the screws are going through that, and then the string is hanging on the screws, and that's hanging on a command hook on each door. And here's an up-close view of the second piece on the other door. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below if you like, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today I am making a love ornament. It's gonna say love, and I'm using this heart shape. I'm gonna stencil this out, and we're using clay again. Dollar Tree clay works great, so I'm gonna just trace out the other letters, so the L, the V, and the E, and then this is gonna be used as the O. And then from there, I'll show you exactly how we're gonna put it all together. I have this white paint. I got this at Michael's. This is my first time trying this one. I usually get Rust-Oleum paint from Home Depot, but this one was available. So I'm going to use that, and we're going to do the back first. Of course, we want to make sure that is all set. And I'm using this apple red spray paint here. This is gloss. The white one is matte, but I'm just gonna go with it. So we'll let these dry, and then I'll come back, flip them over, and spray the front. My review of this Color Shot spray paint, I don't like it, at least not on the clay. Everything is dry now, and I'm gonna glue the letters together. Of course, using this Loctite glue again. This stuff works really good. Alright, the glue is all dry here. I'm going to put wire in between here into the holes. That silver wire right there, it's very thin. And then I'm also going to flip it over, and I'm going to cut pieces off of these popsicle sticks and glue them at the connections, especially behind the heart here. It's wide enough so that cut pieces will hide there. And I'm also going to try to add one here. So here it is, and then I'll add the wire that's going to be used to hang it. I'm doubling the wire. Today I'm sharing a Dollar Tree DIY. This incorporates these hearts here. These are just some styrofoam hearts that have some glitter on top. I'll also be using some ribbon. I'll take the ribbon and cut little strips. We're going to connect the three hearts together. And this is actually going to be on my front door, so I want to make them fit into the framing of the window pane that's on that door. I don't want them to hang too far down. So a strip about this length here. And then I'm going to make another strip the same length. And this piece is going to attach here. And then I'm going to attach the third one like this. And then I'm going to make one more strip to attach the top. We're just going to hot glue it around the heart. And I want to let it just have a very slight hang there. So just add a little bit of glue. And then I'm going to attach the next one here. You only need a little bit of glue because this is not very heavy. I'm going to make a bow at the very top. I'm going to put 4 loops on each side. So there we have that. And then we're just going to cut this off. So then here I'm just going to make a cut here in the middle on one end. And then I'm going to make another cut over here on the other side. And I'm going to cut a piece of this ribbon. And now I'm going to take this piece in the middle here and just tie it together. And this piece of ribbon is going to go right through the little slits that I made on the sides. So there it is. And then we just want to fluff this out. Just pull it all the way out in all directions. Twist it and turn it in any which way you like. So that's just how the bow is going to look. Then we'll bring our hearts back in. And I'm going to attach this piece to the top of this. And that's going to be where the bow is going to attach. And I also want to leave another little loop for it to hang on my, my command hook. I'm going to use that to attach this to this. This is all done. Very simple project to make. Today I'm sharing 2 Dollar Tree DIYs that I put together for Valentine's Day, or really for any time you want to celebrate or decorate with hearts. I'm planning on leaving these decor pieces up for the whole month of February. So the first one that I'm working on is this picture frame heart. I'm just using this Dollar Tree item to create the frame of the heart, and then I'm using these roses that I already had on hand that happened to come from the Dollar Tree a couple of years ago, and I'm just going to make the outline of a heart. spray paint the frame with some white spray paint, and then I'm going to hang the heart inside the frame so that it appears as though it's its own separate thing, but it's actually hanging by some clear thread. And that is the first DIY. The second one that I'm creating is kind of like a countdown to Valentine's Day. My son asked if we could do another Advent style calendar for Valentine's Day. So starting on February 1st, we're going to take out an activity, and then we're going to do something for each day leading up to Valentine's Day, including Valentine's Day. So on the last day, I'm going to just give a little gift or something. But each day we're going to try to do something centered around care and love and family activity type stuff. So I created this heart wreath using this wooden frame that I already had, and I'm using my Cricut to cut out these heart shapes. I'm going to glue them together with a glue stick, leaving a little opening on the side. And this is where I'm going to insert the activities. I already measured, so I can tell that each heart needs to be 3 inches so that it can go all the way around the wreath shape. I'm going to number each one of the hearts. And this is what we're going to use starting February 1st. These were just 2 quick Dollar Tree DIYs that are easy to just decorate with some hearts for the season. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Today I'm doing a Pier 1 inspired DIY using these Dollar Tree products, and this is the Pier 1 item that I'm inspired by. I'm not going to copy this exactly as it is, but I'm going to do something similar to this. And the items that I'm using to create this is floral wire. I don't know how many I'm going to need, but I'm going to spell out the word love using this floral wire. I'm going to cover it over with this twine, and I'm going to use this as a stand. This is one of those game pieces, and just one dowel. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to hold this thing up, and I'm going to use this glue, cover it with a whole bunch of glue, and then I'm going to wrap the twine around the word love and put it on the stand. So if you want to see how I put all that together, please stay tuned. I made this probably a lot bigger than the original, and the first one that I did was pretty nice, but it was a little small, so I wanted it to be a bit bigger. I'm just gonna go and just straighten the lines out just a little bit, and I'll come back and show you how I'm gonna add the twine. All right, so this is the way I set it up. But with this extra piece, I'm just gonna make a heart out of this. I'm just gonna add a little bit of tape. Okay, well, remember when I said this was a Pier 1 inspired DIY? This is very loosely inspired by Pier 1 at this point. I'm actually going to do away with these two things. I came up with a better option. Because I made this a little bit bigger than I originally anticipated, I don't want to use the dowel stand anymore. So I went to look for a piece of wood just to stabilize this on, and I ended up finding this, a tree branch, and it was in our basement with our firewood. So I'm actually going to use this. I'm going to position this on here. I'm going to glue with some hot glue the very bottoms. I'm going to let this little loop part hang down in front of the branch, and then I'm going to glue the rest of it across the top here. What I'm gonna do now is paint the word love, and I'm gonna mix these colors together because this is a bright yellow and I don't want it to be that bright. I wanted to kind of get it to this color.